Welcome back to the Marshal, where we march through military history into an age undreamed of. Today, we examine one of Napoleon's most honorable and steadfast commanders, a man whose integrity earned him admiration from allies and enemies alike. This is the story of Marshal Bon-Adrien Jeannot de Moncey. While some marshals became famous for spectacular battlefield victories or bold cavalry charges, Moncey built his reputation through discipline, loyalty, and an unwavering professionalism. He was never the loudest voice in Napoleon's councils, nor the most flamboyant commander in the Grande Armée. Instead, he was the dependable soldier who could always be trusted to accomplish his mission. Born on July 31st, 1754, in Moncey, France, Moncey entered the Royal Army as a teenager in 1769. Unlike Napoleon's future marshals, he was not born into wealth or privilege. Promotion under the old monarchy was painfully slow for commoners, and after nearly 20 years of service, Moncey had risen only modestly through the ranks. The outbreak of the French Revolution changed everything, however. As aristocratic officers fled France, talented soldiers suddenly found opportunities that had previously been impossible. Moncey embraced the new republic not because he was a fiery revolutionary, but because he believed in serving France. His calm leadership and organizational ability quickly distinguished him from many of his contemporaries. His greatest early achievements came during the War of the Pyrenees against Spain. Commanding French forces in the Western Pyrenees, Moncey conducted a brilliant mountain campaign between 1794 and 1795, operating across rugged terrain that many considered nearly impassable. He repeatedly outmaneuvered Spanish forces, capturing key fortresses and forcing the enemy into retreat. His victories helped secure France's southern frontier and contributed significantly to the Peace of Basel in 1795, which removed Spain from the war against the revolutionary France. By now, Moncey had established a reputation as one of the Republic's finest generals. When Napoleon Bonaparte seized power in 1799, Moncey readily accepted the new government. Napoleon valued competent professionals above political ideology, and Moncey perfectly fit that description. In 1804, when Napoleon crafted the title of Marshal of the Empire, Moncey was among the original 18 men selected. It was recognition not only of his military ability, but also of decades of loyal service to France. Unlike many fellow marshals, however, Moncey spent much of the Napoleonic Wars away from the Empire's greatest battles. Napoleon frequently assigned him to command reserve forces, oversee military administration, or govern occupied territories, roles requiring reliability rather than dramatic battlefield brilliance. One of the most important campaigns came during the Peninsular War in Spain. In 1808, Moncey led French forces toward Valencia. Although he defeated Spanish troops in several engagements, he was unable to capture the heavily defended city. The campaign demonstrated both his caution and professionalism. Unlike some commanders who sacrificed thousands of men in reckless assaults, Moncey preferred measured operations that preserved his army whenever possible. Napoleon occasionally criticized his cautious style, but he continued to trust Moncey with important responsibilities because he knew the marshal would never waste soldiers through unnecessary ambition. Perhaps the greatest testament to Moncey's character came after Napoleon's fall. Following the Bourbon Restoration, many former imperial officers abandoned their old comrades to secure favor with the returning monarchy. Moncey refused. In 1815, after Marshal Michel Ney was arrested and charged with treason for supporting Napoleon during the 100 Days, the restored king appointed Moncey to preside over Ney's court-martial. Moncey considered the trial an act of political vengeance rather than justice. Instead of complying, he boldly refused. In a remarkable letter to King Louis XVIII, Moncey declared that he could not, in good conscience, judge a fellow marshal who had fought for France. The king responded by stripping Moncey of his titles, imprisoning him briefly, and dismissing him from public service. Yet Moncey never regretted his decision. His refusal became one of the most admired acts of loyalty among Napoleon's former officers. Years later, even the Bourbon monarchy recognized his integrity. He was restored to favor and eventually appointed governor of the Hôtel des Invalides, the famous military retirement home in Paris. In 1840, when Napoleon's remains were returned from St. Helena during the Retour de Cendres, it was the aging Marshal Moncey, then 86 years old, who stood among the distinguished veterans welcoming his emperor home. It was a fitting final public appearance for one of the last surviving marshals of the empire. Bon-Adrien de Moncey died on April 20th, 1842, at the age of 87, having served France under the monarchy, the Revolution, the Empire, and the restored Bourbon kings. Unlike some of Napoleon's marshals, Moncey left behind few legendary battlefield triumphs. Instead, his legacy rests upon something perhaps even more enduring: honesty, professionalism, and an unwavering personal honor. He proved that greatness in military service is measured not only by victories won, but by principles upheld, even when those principles come at a great personal cost. For Bon-Adrien de Moncey, loyalty was never a slogan. It was a way of life. Thank you for watching The Marshalette. If you enjoyed this particular biography and want to learn more about Napoleon's marshals, commanders, and the campaigns that shaped Europe, be sure to like, share, and follow our channel as we continue our march through military history into an age undreamed of.